Buenas. This is the You Live Where show. My name is Diego, and I've been an expat now for 10 years. Best 10 years of my life. And along that journey, I've definitely come across people who are interested in pulling off a similar type of thing, or they're just interested in how it is that we live our lives. So, the only way I know how to provide value to you at home is by having conversations with expats or with people who own homes overseas. So this week we're speaking with a woman named Alexis in Costa Rica, and she's really got some gems for us. She's got some good insight. So I hope you enjoy.
Hey, thank you so much for taking your time out to come on my
Hi,
show. I'm
Diego.
super excited for hearing your story, man. Thank you for your time.
You're
So
welcome.
before we get into like the meat of this whole thing, you wanted to show me the crib? You want to see we want to see what you're dealing with?
Yeah, I wanted to show you. I bought land and built a house all cash in Costa Rica. So I thought I would give you a quick
Let's
look
see
before
what
the
you're
sun
dealing
went
with.
down.
Oh, let's do this. Let's see what you're dealing with.
All right, all right. So if I don't fall. So my house is on stilts, so it's under like this is the lounge area that's all outside, and it's just
Okay.
kind of in curtained in and it's not screened in or anything.
Okay.
And a little dining area, nothing too exciting in here. But outside, so I'm really excited
Look at
about all these trees
that.
that are growing, and I like turns out I love digging ditches. So I planted a bunch. So that's a coconut tree, and those are coconuts just ready to go right now.
Nice.
And I've got like a long gone fruit tree and a mangosteen and of course papaya
Dude, there's a
and
lot of green going on in the background.
yeah,
Oh,
so
wait,
like
don't move. Let me look at the house. Wow, that's
this is the
awesome.
house. Yeah.
Look at that. That's everything you need.
So it's like on stilts and just like, yeah, air conditioned and
Wow.
fully enclosed. And then underneath is just where I have parties and lounge and everything. And
That is dope. I
yeah,
really
so
like that.
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, the American dream kind of left America, or it's in Central America, I should say,
No, it's
and
a nice home. Look at all that greenery as
my
your car.
electric golf cart.
Dope. So what town are you in?
I'm in Puerto Viejo,
And where's
um,
that? North or south?
The Caribbean side.
Okay,
Because everyone's on the
dope.
Pacific side, so I wasn't trying to go there. I was trying to do my own thing.
Word. Okay. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
gorgeous, man. You got a lot of green going on all over there.
Yeah, yeah. I've got some almond trees that have sloth and monkeys come and visit.
What?
And I planted these trees last year. I don't even know how that fits into the category of trees.
Yeah, almond trees take the fuck off. They're incredible. They just go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna build my yoga deck over here. So this is just
Okay.
primed spot for like a yoga deck, and I'm gonna do
Okay.
like community work and
So tell
yeah,
me,
with
are you in a
indigenous.
mountainous area or is there a beach close by?
I am 200 meters from the beach.
Check you out.
So my neighbors face the beach and I can hear the waves from my house.
Yeah, 200 meters away. Absolutely. That is
Yeah,
dope.
because there's a law about how close you can have title on and own.
Okay.
And so I wanted to make sure I was doing it
It's
all
the it's the
legit and
same
legal.
it's the same law in Nicaragua. The beachfront and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, yeah. So, all right. So I'm gonna take us back. We're gonna get into it. You ready?
Yes.
When did you catch the travel bug? When did you start getting out there and seeing the world?
I went backpacking by myself at 18 in
Oh,
Europe.
okay.
And my dad was fully against that, but he raised me to be street smart and I'm from LA originally and he didn't know what he created a monster, you know what I mean? And I just went out backpacking I was in like Germany and France and Italy and Switzerland and and I was just like Greece and I would go out all day and then stay in at night and research where I was going to go to the next day and I had a local kind of bag and local outfit on so that I kind of didn't look like a tourist and I just did it and I just had such a great time. I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I did, I'd been to India since then and a lot of Mexico and now I've been to like Nicaragua and Guatemala and Panama and
All right. So you've been
yeah, just keep
around.
just keep checking the boxes.
All
Yeah.
right.
People say,
So
"Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "Tell me where I don't want to go." Like
everywhere. Dope,
all over.
man.
Yeah.
So, okay, how did you get the idea to live somewhere? Like, when did you first, like, you know what? I can live in this place, not just visit it, you know?
Really when I was little, my mom took us it ended up only being a year, but we went to go live in Hawaii, which is still the States, but my mom was just like out of LA, moved to Hawaii, and I was 5 years old, and I just was like, this is awesome. This is so, so, so different. But I got that green bug, and that never
Okay.
left me. And the tropical. So I always in my mind was like, I want to live somewhere tropical. I want to live somewhere green. And I tried different parts of the US. I lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is not green, but I was singing professionally. Another story. And then I
Okay.
was, yeah. And then I was in North Carolina, living in the mountains. And I just was like, this is too cold. Like,
Okay.
I can only do so many campfires before I'm just like, whew. you
Okay.
know?
All
Yeah.
right. So
And
you always
then,
had the green bug.
yes. And so, it's kind of like believing I could live in another country. That was kind of like far-fetched and a little crazy, but slowly I just started to be like, I just can't buy in America. Like, certainly not LA. That's a joke. And then, I could pay $1 million for like a house the size of this bottom part, and like
Hmm.
I could be shot at. Like, that's where it would be, literally in like East LA. And
Hmm.
so, and the idea of retirement and things like that, I just was like, I don't know how I'm going to get ahead, you know?
Okay.
And I didn't feel anyone had time for me. There was no like community group feeling that was happening, where I was living. And so I just was like, I think I got to go abroad. And I traveled enough to know that like I can
You,
adjust,
you can do it, right? How did you
Yeah.
pick Costa Rica? I mean, you've been all over the fucking world. What grabbed your heart there? You know what I mean? What was about Costa Rica?
Well, a lot of my surfer friends being from LA, like I was like surf town, I was a paddle boarder and a boogie boarder more sponger, more than a surfer. But, they were just raving about the Pacific side and surfing and everything. And I thought, well, I like more paddle boarding. So like if Costa Rica's cool, like what about the Caribbean side? And I really like the mix of like Rastas and like the Black African kind of Jamaican mix, not
Hmm.
just the Latinos. And LA, I grew up in a really like mixed area where it was like Black, white, Asian, and Hispanic. And so to see that I didn't want to just be Latin America, I liked the diversity that was happening over here.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you decided and you're packing up all your shit and you're ready to go, right?
We're like
Uh,
selling all my shit.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask, how did that go? What's that move look like? What did you pack everything up? Did you put it in storage? Did you just get rid of everything? Tell me about that. How'd that go?
I mean, looking back, I'm like the balls, because I just like didn't I was like, no looking back, I was like, set the shit on fire and like walk away, but I just basically, yeah, I sold everything I owned to one suitcase. The night before, I had two suitcases, like big ones, and I just was like, I could get down to one. I could do it. Just like, F it. Just because I just started to feel like F everything, F all my stuff. It's all just holding me down and holding me back. And it's all just stuff. And, it's not friends. It's not community. It's not a passion. It's just stuff. And I got to dust it and pack it and move it. And I saw a movie, Minimalism,
Okay.
and it changed my life. It was just all about,
Those
you
dudes are
know,
awesome.
I know, right? It was all just
Yeah.
about what freedom comes from owning less and not being in that consumerist mentality. And a lot of Latin America is not about consumers. I mean, last Christmas, I like didn't have to buy any presents. People don't buy presents here. I don't know if that's in Nicaragua, but we don't buy each other presents. People are like, I don't got money for presents. And we just like do potluck parties. That's what people do: Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, like whatever. It's just like that stuff. So I didn't buy anything,
Okay.
and
All right.
and to not actually buy just blew my mind.
Sure.
Exactly, buy lo siento.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
oh,
Okay.
I
So
just
you just
love
sold
that.
everything, got down to one, and just bombed out.
Dude, I was like, I am not paying taxes this year. I was like, I donated so much shit. Like, I was like, I need receipts. I need receipts. This is like 20 grand of stuff receipts. Okay. This isn't like my clothes. It's like all my clothes, like all my furniture.
Right, right,
I had a
right.
party where a going away party, and I packed boxes of stuff for people. So everybody got like a going away box. And then
That's
they also helped.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a
And
good way to do it. Yeah.
but it was fun, and just to be that generous. And I actually, the side rail to getting here, I just bought a plane ticket and flew here. But initially I bought a bus and was gonna remodel the bus. I love
Okay.
that it was a short bus too, because I used to drive the short bus. Like, I worked for special. So first I was like, I already got the license for that. You know what I mean? I know how to do that. But I basically I bought like a special ed like short bus, and I met a guy that had a bus and had a full size bus and had remodeled it, and he was planning to move here too and was going to drive down here in his. And so we were dating, and I was like, offered he was going to help remodel mine. And so I just stayed in his while we remodeled mine, and then we caravan down here. And now I look back, and things fell apart. It was COVID, you know what I mean? And so all of a sudden I had this bus full of my stuff, because you don't need to get rid of everything if you're going to put it in a bus.
Uh,
And it broke down on the side of the freeway. The relationship broke down. It's COVID. That's a breakdown. And I just was like on the side of the freeway, like moving shit out of the bus into a U-Haul on the side of the freeway, and just like quitting halfway through and just being like, I'll figure out the bus later, driving off in the U-Haul, getting the bus towed, and ended up never recouping that, just selling the bus and everything in it for, whatever cost.
so it sounds
And
like you were baptized through fire.
dude, and I just like look back and I'm like, dude, it was just like one day at a time. And I had a friend who was like, I was literally like at a coffee shop in Texas, just halfway across America, just being like, okay, so we're single, we have nowhere to live, all of our stuff is in a U-Haul, and we need a new plan. And one of my friends had said to me in the past, he's a long-term friend, and he was like, shit ever goes down, give me a call. And I was like, shit's not going down. It's cool. I always land on my feet. What are you talking about? And then another conversation a few months later, like, shit goes down.
Shit goes down.
Let me know. And so then I called him in Texas, and I was like, shit went down. And he's like, all right, come crash on my pad, And all of a sudden I was like, I can't believe I'm fucking back in LA. So I pull up in my U-Haul with, back in LA, just being like, fuck, why am I here? This is the furthest from Costa Rica I want to be.
Yeah.
And I crashed there, and I had to do like, the visa, the passport renewal, and get the dog certificate and all that stuff. So, 4 months later, I'm finally out.
Okay, so it took a
And I did
minute.
it. Yeah, yeah. But the whole process was 8 months.
Jesus.
So I was already like a bus on the road after 4 months, because I came here to visit, because I wasn't trying to be crazy. So I came and actually visited to see if like this was
wasn't
what it
trying
said it
to
was.
be crazy.
Well, I did move to North Carolina during COVID, sight unseen. I was like, it looks pretty good on Google.
All right.
So
Okay. So when I mean, like you said, your dad raised a strong one, right? So,
yeah.
but when you were ready to bust this move and you told your friends and family, what was what was the reaction?
I would say long-term friends were like, yeah, that's totally Alexis,
Okay.
and the newer friends were like, what? You're crazy. You talked about it and now you're actually doing it. And like everyone that knew it was like, yeah, she's gonna do that.
Okay.
You know.
So it was kind of
So
ready for it.
yeah, and like my family, that's like, she's alternative. She went vegan, she's alternative, and then she runs her own business, but it's all like humanitarian. So like, okay, and they were just like tolerating me. And then moving down here was just like the last straw. They're just like, she's out of her fucking mind, I was just like, I'm living actually in tropical paradise. You should come visit,
All
like,
right,
or
right.
now don't, because you haters, but like, I'm, a stone throw from a black sand beach, which is caused by an active volcano that
So dope.
took all that lava and made it into this like fine sand that's actually magnetic.
That's
People like
dope.
roll around and bathe in the shit. Yeah, it'll stick to everything, like your phone stuff. And I just walk the beach every day with my dogs off leash, and just like, it is living the dream.
That's so awesome. Let me
Yeah.
ask so let me ask you something. You get into Costa Rica, it's a much different thing from living somewhere and visiting somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So what was that for you? What did you have in your mind, like it's going to be this way, and then you moved there and you're like, all right, this is a little different. What, anything?
Yeah, I mean, basically, like, well, when I moved to Minnesota at first, there was like 6 weeks in, I was like, I can't take it sucks. Like, I just like, it was just a moment that broke me, and it was just all the culmination of like stress. Same happened in North Carolina, and like 6 weeks in, and I was just like, "Fuck," and so moving here, I was kind of like, I'm a little worried about 6 weeks. And it
Okay.
happened. I just had that breakdown where I was like, I'm not doing Spanish.
Uh,
If one more fucking random dog, like, and I don't want some rice and beans. And I just like, I already knew it was coming, and I was like, all right, this day is just going to be like a day or two off of work. It's just going to be curtains drawn, air conditioning on, home movies, childhood like favorite movies like Home Alone, or some like, I don't know, rom-com, and I'm just like, I'm not in Costa Rica, I
Okay.
put
Okay.
sweats on, like you never need sweats in Nicaragua or Costa Rica.
Right,
Like, nah.
right.
I wear it metaphorically.
Okay. I feel you just to get that vibe. All right.
Sometimes you want the
What was
pants.
your first culture shock? What fucked you up? What happened when you got there and all right, now you're living here? Was there anything like, oh shit, this is crazy?
I I thought about pre-thinking about this answer, but I just couldn't come up with something, and something just popped in my head right now, and I'm like, oh shit.
Give it to me.
So, oh my God, I rented an Airbnb based on what I saw online and knowing the area based on where I was visiting. I was like, okay, I want to live in that little area, so I'm gonna rent an Airbnb there,
Okay.
and pre-booked it for like 3 months. I was like, I just need the buffer, and just do that. And so when I moved there, of course, it looks like shittier than the picture, right? Like it's just not that. Even my like taxi driver, whatever you want to call him, was just like, "You sure you want me to unpack the car?"
This is your
Like,
spot.
this is it. I think you should get back in the car, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, it's cool. Like you don't read me that way, I'm not some soft girl from LA anymore. So, um, I don't know what week it was in, but I was a few months in, and they shut off my water. And well, oh no, first was construction. They started doing construction just out of nowhere, just like on the property, just like metal cutting, 5 a.m. to like they couldn't even see 5:30 at night, like they can't even see what they're doing. Like, and then on Saturday, and then even on Sunday. So I was just like, fuck, I didn't sign up. So I go to the manager and I'm just like, dude, like I'm trying to be nice, but I really probably waited till I was like nails on chalkboard too long. It'd been like a week, and I was like, Sunday? I'm like, any Catholic guilt in there? I don't know. Just like, and I like looked at Google the whole translation and tried to memorize what I was gonna say, and I had Google Translate ready. And she was like, we're doing construction, it'll be done in a few months. And I'm just like, I work from home. Like, no. And I get back to my apartment and my place I was at, and she had shut off my water.
Just for that complaint? You think for the
Just for
complaint?
that. She just
Oh
was like,
my
bitch, please.
God.
Yeah. And like, you don't have rights here in the same way. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I literally was like trying to do the dishes when I discovered this. And I think she shut off my power or something. So, I just was like, fuck. And this is a fully furnished place that a lot of rentals are. And so I literally started throwing the dishes out the window because I'm on the second floor. I was like, fuck this, fuck this. And then all of a sudden I kind of caught myself. I'm like, you have lost your damn mind,
Right.
And I just literally put myself on timeout. I just looked at my dog and I was like, you will survive. And I just like got on my motorcycle and like went off to just even being on a motorcycle and like went off to like a coffee shop and was just like,
Okay.
and I just was like, you know what? I've got that American saying, excuse my French, like fuck you money. I was like, I have fuck you money. I was like, I need to just do this. And so I literally went online right there and then I found another place
Okay.
and I moved into it that afternoon.
Okay.
Like I just was like, I don't
Done.
need to worry about rent and do they match up and the rent? What if you paid a deposit, can't it back? I was like, I don't even give a fuck. Like I'm just gonna move right now.
Okay.
And so I just moved right away. And it was like, I don't know, it was like I went from a place that was like 500, 600 a month to like 1,000 a month. That was 2 bedroom, all AC
Is
at
it
the
easy to
beach.
find places? Is it easy to move
Not
around like that?
anymore. Not anymore. No.
Okay.
Once you live here, you can kind of like talk to people and really get more vibe and move around and like people, stuff more
Okay.
than what's on the regular stuff. A lot of Airbnb, everything's like doubled. The population's doubled, the rent has doubled.
In the
Like
time
I
that
think
you've
it's
been there?
3 years.
Oh, wow. In 3 years, it's just kind of
Like infrastructure's growing so fast. Like there's 200 homes being built down my neighborhood right now. It looks like an ant village. Yeah, it's just dirt roads. It's all
looks
dirt
like an
roads.
ant
No,
village.
there's no names on the roads.
Okay.
People just
Anywhere.
build
Is that anywhere?
and that yeah, no, anywhere. Nobody has names on the roads. Yeah. And it's so funny because as a kid, I would be like, turn right at the yellow house, and then there's like go left at the green rock, and then you know where that like restaurant is, da da da, Johnny's house, like that kind of stuff. That's what this is here. So people send pictures of like houses and be like, you go right here, and then there's no pictures of roads, and you're just like,
We're the same thing in Nicaragua, man. There's no street address. So it's like
Yeah,
you're gonna
there's
get
no,
to the palm tree with 5 coconuts. If you went to the one with
yeah,
4, you passed it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
my like contract for my house was literally like coordinates. It mentioned my
So,
neighbors, and I'm like they don't move. Like,
so, dude, did you have that house built for you?
yes, I designed it and built it. Yeah, I
And
had
what
it
was
built.
that like? How that's a fucking crazy experience. How did you find a builder? How did you go through the code? How the hell did you build a house in Costa Rica?
Dude, I had the dream. I basically living here, I was already talking to people that were buying land and renting and things like that. And I was just like asking, and I had a realtor that was like showing me different properties and stuff. And my ideas kept kind of changing the more I knew stuff. I was like, oh, this city's kind of in flux between like indigenous and and country government deciding who owns what. And
Okay.
so like you can't get title there. So like don't move there is what the realtor was. And I was like, I trust you, man. And I got a good realtor through a referral through a friend,
Okay.
and kept changing what I was looking for in neighborhoods too, being flexible. But I just was like, okay, what am I going to do? And everybody had like different horror stories, like it's double or triple the cost, or like the workers did a shitty job and we had to break down and start over.
Sure,
And I
those
just
are
was
all the
like,
things you
that's not
hear.
going to be my experience. It's not going to be it. I'm going to like get the referral. I'm going to find the people. They're going to be pre-vetted through other people. Like I'm just going to like really put in that work on that end. And so my realtor was awesome. And then I had he was like, oh, my daughter's an architect and I've got a builder and all that stuff. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, yeah, I'm not gonna use your kid, like, and you built like, okay, you're a builder, okay, but I have an architect, and then my architect's saying he could be a builder. But as soon as the architect stepped out of his architect lane,
Right.
like he wasn't doing a very good job with building my shed, bodega, and my fence. And so I basically went back to my realtor and was like, yo, I would love your builders. I like would like to take that all back.
Okay.
Get that.
Okay.
Like I just spent double on a fence. That's not that bad. I'm just gonna, a lot of people here, they'll meet somebody, they'll hire a worker who does something troubling or bothering, really late, really tardy, too much, slow, not quality, and they just stick with the people and don't move on. And I'm like, first time you burn me, that's on you. Second time, that's on me. And so
Sure.
I've moved on like 5 different gardeners because I just know that it's just more is just more problems. So I
Right.
I got rid of that builder, got a new builder, and it was the builder that built my realtor's house, built
Okay.
one of his kids' houses, and they worked together. And so I just was like, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were on time, smiles on their faces, worked hard, great work, clean lines, everything looking great.
Okay.
My realtor would come and visit, and I'd be like, just tell me if it's going well. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know if they're doing their job right.
Right, right,
And that's
right.
scary. It's not your wheelhouse, and so if you were an expert, you do it yourself. So I just was like so blessed. So in 2 months and 4 days, they built this house,
Holy shit, that's pretty quick, man.
and it was 50 grand.
Okay.
So the land was 50 grand, and then the house was 50 grand.
So all in 100? That's not bad at all, dude. And
Yeah.
you said 200 meters from the beach?
Yeah. Like
Holy shit,
my
that's
street to the
awesome.
corner. Yeah.
That's
And it's a
so
black
dope.
sand beach, it's like cool, and
Yeah.
I'm in like the neighborhood that's like there's no construction happening around me. So I already know who my neighbors are. It's all done. It's all elders that are lived here that are locals. So they're kind of like 60-plus-year-old, like Latinos or Rastas. And everyone's kind of upper class, kind of in their own little area, and they all know each other and have all lived here a long time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So somebody was splitting their land in half, and that's what I bought.
Okay, so you're in like a nice, dope little area. You kind of
Yeah.
landed where you need to
There's no
be.
roosters. By the way, don't buy land with roosters nearby. I thought roosters cuckoo or whatever it is at like the crack of dawn. Nah, they do that shit all day, all night.
Yeah, they start at 1:30 in the
Jesus
morning.
Christ. You know, right?
Oh, of
And
course
there's
I
no
do.
like
Yeah,
barking dogs all over everywhere. In fact, if
yeah.
any dog's
Okay.
being annoying, it's mine or something sometimes. So I
Okay.
brought a little bougie Frenchie.
That's awesome. From
Yeah.
from home, right? Came with you?
Yeah. She's from
Okay.
LA and mostly
What did you
raised
have to
in
get to
North
move
Carolina.
her?
So people ask me that a lot. So I'm glad you're asking because people want to know. So basically, the airlines and the country have their rules and they overlap. Some do, some of them do, some don't. So basically, like, Virgin Airline or, Santa or what, they're going to have different rules, but somewhere
Okay.
in the same pocket. And then the country has its rules. And there's no like, what do they call it when they put your dog? It's not sanitizing. It's something where they like your dog has to like quarantine, where
Okay.
they quarantine your dog for like a week or a month or 3 months or some shit. Costa Rica doesn't do that. And
Okay.
I was just like,
That's dope.
definite. That was a huge deal breaker because she's like my baby. I'm like, what am I do? I'm gonna pick up a different dog. Like she's gonna be all like twitched out and a gang member. She's gonna have like some cuts,
She's
you
been to
know, like
prison.
yeah, like she is not gonna be okay.
Right, right.
So yeah, and I just went on Costa Rica's country website and looked up like dog or just pets and bringing in
Okay.
pets, and they were
So
like
was
these
it
pets can
easier?
come.
It was an easy process to do?
It was all in Spanish. So you know what I did is actually went to a vet in East LA where they all like speak Spanish.
Okay, cool. Cool.
And was like, "Hey, do you guys ever get like dogs coming in from like Mexico or Guatemala, like immigrants coming in, you know, and do you know about like ones going out or going in?" And they were like, "Yeah, we've done this before." And so I was like, "Sweet." And so they did the paperwork and had to put it
Dope.
in Spanish. Yeah, and
Dope,
then,
dope.
went to the vet for all that extra. Yeah. And so it's like shots and vaccinations and things like that.
Okay. How's your Spanish? It's come up a couple times now. How you
Great.
doing? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's coming
great.
along.
Yeah, look, it was not going anywhere for a while. Like I did 3 years in high school and then I didn't do it for 20 years. So then it's just like down to like zero, you know what I mean? Or close to it. And then I came here and I've been doing like Duolingo and all my friends are on Duolingo and we're like, yeah, we're doing, where are you at? And we're like high-fiving each other, how many days you in and all that. But it was like all the vocab like floating in space. It's
Okay.
like none of it could come together for a sentence or like be heard in that way. So it was like I wasn't conversational.
Okay.
And then actually met a guy, he's Brazilian. And so he speaks Spanish, but he, in Portuguese. And I was like, well, the common one is Spanish. And so I was just like, oh shit, here we go. I'm gonna have to learn now, and I just did Google Translate and a lot. But in 3 months, I was like, I don't need to pick up my phone. Like everyday conversations, I'm like understanding.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, I'm like 80, 90% on comprehension. And then speaking is probably more like 60%,
Okay,
and
that's dope.
yeah, it's going
Okay.
well for like conversation. You switch to like medical advice, and I'm just like, "Rah," I don't know the word for
Yeah.
like blood and like stitches, but
Yeah.
like I've been there. I've been to the clinic.
You're bringing it up. Let's hit it. How's the healthcare, man? How's that treated you?
Oh my God, I love it. Like I
Yeah.
basically like, I've had some, like, they call it Costa Rica baptized, where you like nearly die, but like I got a staph infection and it was
Okay.
by my eye. And
Oh,
so
Jesus.
I had a little cut from sunglasses. They sit on your eye and you got a helmet with the motorcycle, just a little like whatever. And it got infected and turned into a staph infection.
Okay.
And it just like went crazy. And so when I went to the doctor, he was like, holy shit. And I was just like, that's not
That's
what
not the
we
best
do in the
response.
US. That's not like I'm on the motorcycle with one eye open and with a helmet on, and he sees me pull up behind in the back because I can't drive. And he's just it's like, oh my God. Yeah. But the whole visit was $100. He had me on topical antibiotics, oral antibiotics, and then yeah, the visit itself and everything was like $100 total.
Okay.
Hmm.
But the
And then
healthcare is good. You're
yeah,
happy
and
with the healthcare.
yes, great treatment, fast, effective, good. Another time I cut my foot, it was like glass, and that got infected and escalated quickly, and they had to like do surgery on it right there at the clinic. And I think the bill was like $80 and it took 40 minutes. Like I was in and
Okay.
out, but it was so hard and fast. It was like I walked into a place and got jumped, and then 10 minutes later it's over, and you're just like, I'm fucked up, but I'm alive. And my friend was like, so we get breakfast now? And I'm like, the
Um,
process.
so you've done all out of pocket for everything.
Yeah,
Is that the
yeah,
way to
like
go?
dude, yeah, like people. I know someone here. She is my friend's mom. She
Okay.
she got her to move here from Canada, and she was like, "Look, you're alone. It's cold. Just move down here." And so she did it, and she lived with her, and then she kind of got her launched and everything. And so she was running around here with a bunch of other elderly women. They're on their like tri bikes, electric bikes, and like she's like
Awesome.
my hero. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
There's elderly
awesome.
people here, just like yes, the
Going at it.
dream. Yes. So she fell and broke her hip.
Ooh.
She went to the local to clinic an hour away. So there's like the clinic for like cuts and bruises that are all right here. But if you need like surgery, which I know a few people that have like car accident, motor like the surgery, they'll either take you to Limon Hospital, which people don't recommend, or go all the way to San Jose, which is 5 hours, like by like ambulance or car or whatever. And
Wow.
these end up being thousands of dollars, but these would be tens of thousands of dollars elsewhere. So they're
Sure.
not, it's not
Sure.
10 grand. It's not, it might be 3 grand, but it's like surgery and you live at the hospital for 2 weeks for like three
Sure.
grand or
Sure.
something. So still very affordable. My friend, she got her mom private insurance on the fly,
Okay.
like after the incident. And they
Oh, okay.
immediately were like, because she was like going to be in like no insurance kind of out of pocket kind of thing. And they were delaying her surgery for about like a week, needing hip surgery. And she was just kind of in some line,
Okay.
some unknown line. And so then she got the private stuff and they were like, up right away, miss. And they like put her in surgery. And then her recovery was like in a family's home that signs up to help people, that like
Okay.
feed her. They're in her house. Like it's a house, a family,
Okay.
people that like care for people. And she lived there for several weeks.
That's pretty dope.
I
That's
know,
yeah, that's pretty
like an
cool.
actual family, like home cooked meals and like in their house, like
That's
in a
really
bed,
dope.
and they sign up for it and they're nice people. Yeah. So it was like,
I mean, if you
wow.
got to lay around and heal up, might as well have like the Waltons around you. You know what I mean? Making
Yeah. And
shit
it's not like
happen.
you're making your kid do it who's resentful or doesn't want, these are
Who's
people who are like,
resentful?
we're getting
Jeez.
paid by the government for this or through the private insurance. Like we signed up for it. We've passed whatever test, to say it's okay here. And yeah. So
That's
she did
awesome.
that.
That's really dope.
I know. So shocking.
So, you got the Spanish down, right? You're in a new
Yeah.
hood. What's the social life like? Has it been easy to meet friends? Are you going out? Are you chilling? Are you a home bug? What's the social life like?
I think it's all your personality, you know what I mean? And I'm the loner, early bird, like spiritual, but if you got an ego spirituality, like you need to be in your cute Lululemon, like you just take it a walk. And if you want to be spiritual because you just want to do a bunch of drugs, like see you
Eh,
later. So
okay.
I'm like in a weird spot. So like I've seen people that the drinker partier retirement people or younger people that are in the drinking partying, like they just fall right in. They just go out at night. They find other Americans or Germans and people that speak English and they just like hang out and do all that. And they just like never even learn Spanish and they have a good time. They
Okay.
do their thing, like no judgment.
All right,
Enjoy.
right.
Then there's the spiritual community people that are just kind of the everyday, into the yoga, into the ayahuasca, into the mushrooms, into the whatever. They will, find some retreats that are open and they'll go to those different retreats and make friends with the people. And there's like weekly like ecstatic dances and cacao ceremonies and that you can go to all that and the fire dancing on the beach. And so I've gone to all those things too and know all that community and just kind of don't do it full time, because
Okay.
I'm the early bird. So
Okay.
and so for me, when I first came here, I just made my world real small. I just like, threw myself into my job, really like was reading a spiritual book and meditating and journaling and just kind of processing the move and COVID and everything, feeling the feels. And then like 5 a.m., I'd be up walking the dog, and then I go to some resort that had like great breakfast and I just went to that same one like 3 days a week and went to another one 2 3 days a week and just like always had breakfast out and they would know me first name basis. They'd be like serving me coffee and be like the usual Alexis, and I just felt immediately comforted.
Okay.
They weren't inviting me into their home, it was just like employees, but there was a comfort there. And then I started making friends with people walking on the beach too, and they had their dogs and stuff like that. And then they'd be
Okay.
like, "You want to go out?" And then we'd go out together, and then I'd be out kind of after dark, like at dinner and stuff,
So
because it gets
it's been easy. It's been
dark here.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah. So it's
Like
been easy.
there's,
So you've met good people. You've been all right with the social life.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I mean, when I came here, that I've been here 3 years, so I was single up until 9 months ago, and so I had to figure out the dating real quick and had to just shut that down. I had to just be like, I can't date like I would date in the US. Like, oh, you meet somebody, maybe meet them online, you're talking a little bit, and then you meet up for dinner and whatever. Like, I just couldn't really do that really well here. It was just very intense. Like, the metaphor I've gotten is imagine you're from like New York, LA, and you move to like Arkansas or Kansas.
I use that all the time. I use that
You
allegory
just
all the time.
you just like bless the people that are from there, and imagine you
Yeah.
just moved to like the sticks, you know what I mean, where people just kind of built
Bro.
their own house,
Yeah.
where they like they all got like cousins that are kind of related to them, you know what I mean, in other ways, and they got a heavy accent. Like imagine that if you just started dating in that pool.
I'm with you. I hear you.
There can be good looking people in that, there can be intelligent people in that, but they've got that third grade education. They got that culture of hickness or whatever, the redneck culture. Like they could be aware that they're in it, they can think it's wrong, they can like it, they can hate it, they can, but they're still it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I found that there's issues with that in the Latino community of certain things where like they got a man, they got a wife and they got a kid and they got a girlfriend and they got another girlfriend and they lie to me about who they're seeing because they've got the family in the background,
That's a
you know?
Latino thing.
Yeah. So there was
Okay.
that kind of shit happening in the Latino dating world. And then in the Rasta world, it was, hey, you came on vacation for some exotic, like buy me dinner, buy me food. Like, aren't you a rich white chick? Like, that was shocking just to be seen as like a rich white chick. In America, I'm just a chick, who's just
That's a
middle class.
that's a very unique perspective. I'm so happy that you've said something. That's very
Yeah, I'm not
that's
exotic
true. That's
in
authentic. It's
LA.
true.
Or North Carolina. Like I'm just another white chick running around. Like down
Yeah.
here, I'm like exotic and I'm perceived as rich. And so, I was kind of like, maybe I'd dye my hair darker. I was doing that idea for a while, and like if I ride out at night, I might in my golf cart because I'm very exposed. I might like, or on my bicycle or something, I might like zip it up and put my hoodie up just to kind of be unknown as far as like
Okay.
what gender I am, or I'm a blonde chick, just kind of like take it down a few notches. When I had the motorcycle, I had the helmet, so you just didn't know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But a golf cart's kind of like, hey. And
Yeah.
no one's ever tried anything or done anything. I've just had like looks on the side of the road where there's like a group of, you know, 20 something 18-year-olds that are just like drunk on the side, just kind of watching people. And I'm just like, can we just go, go, go? I'm so glad there's no traffic lights here. Just fucking keep her on. I'm like,
Okay.
if I hit a pothole, I'm just catching air. We're just not slowing down.
I'll catch an air. I'm out. That's awesome. I mean, yeah. All right. So now that you've been there, and even though you live there and you're a local now, do you still do the tourist thing? Do you still go out and see cool shit and check things out and run off on the weekends? Or
Yeah, like I have a girl who has a car, and so sometimes we go out and go like to the waterfalls and stuff, and there'll be
okay,
like all the like tourists there, and sometimes it's like more of the indigenous people are there because there's an indigenous village in Bree, and so like if you go inland to those waterfalls and into the forest hiking, you're gonna run into the indigenous people that are there, and so you know it's
okay,
it's a touristy thing, but it's also where the locals are, so it's
okay.
fun. And I can, yeah, I'll go to like Coquelles Beach and just like sit and watch the fire show with the DJ and the $5 like, golden tea latte, vegan. It's just like,
So
you know,
so so give me a hidden gem. Give our people something that you would say, all right, nobody, this isn't a touristy spot. This is off the beaten path. This is where I go. Give me a hidden gem.
I love, and it's not well known, but I love the chocolate tour. There's different chocolate tours. This is a chocolate tour where you book it and you literally go to the indigenous village and the indigenous people like pull it off the tree, crack that shit open, break out the pods, you start helping sort it, stick it on the rack to dry. Then you get this toaster, and you start toasting it over an open fire and stirring it in this big metal thing. And then all of a sudden you got the grinder and you're grinding the nuts from the seeds and the regular rock, that they ceremoniously got somewhere from the river that they like carry upstream for hours that he's like quarter of a ton.
All
And
right,
then,
all
you
right.
grind it through and eat it there. And yeah, like you're just like everyone's just kind of doing their business and you're just kind of entering into the reserve, just like, hey,
Wow.
mind your business,
And what's
carry
the name
on.
of that place?
That's Bree.
Bree Bree? Dude, I got a sweet tooth, man. That's awesome. I'll probably hit that up.
It's the best chocolate I've ever had in my life since. And like
Yeah.
every chocolate that's around, yeah, nothing. In fact, my boyfriend and I were just talking about we're gonna go get chocolate after this. So it's pretty much there's a cacao house. So we're gonna go,
No
they
shit.
serve chocolate, yeah, day or night. And they make this old woman makes it and she does different combos of like cardamom and cinnamon and flavor of orange in it and
That is too cool.
big mug of it. But yeah, so after you do the cacao tour, it's hot inland. I don't know. There's no breeze. You think going into the mountain a little bit, you're like, elevation. Not fucking enough.
All right. It's hot.
I just remember being there, being like, I would pay $50 for a hand fan right now. It's like, oh, and no one else seems hot. You know what I mean? Just like, and it took me 3 months to adjust to the heat here. But on the way back from the tour, they stop at the waterfalls and then you go
Okay.
jump in the waterfall.
Oh.
and do that. And that was just a half-day tour, but it was just, I'm on a reservation seeing indigenous people. They're making me chocolate from scratch. I'm participating. Then I get to eat it. Then I'm at
Yeah,
a
yeah.
waterfall in the forest that's on the way back from the indigenous thing. And then it's like, it's just 2 o'clock, and I'm just like,
That's
oh,
awesome.
it's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, that is
I've done
really
it a few
cool.
times.
So dude, what do you do? Do you work? Do you hustle? What's the gig? What are you up to?
Yeah, like I've been a therapist for 20 years and had my own private practice. And then I just sold everything and put it all online and was doing that bopping around the US. And then when I moved to Costa Rica, I started like just coaching. And I realized I wanted to go like psychology is kind of like helping people that are like broken get to okay.
Okay.
And coaching, I feel, is like getting people that are doing okay to fabulous. And
Okay.
so I just like coaching people on creating this kind of fabulous life. So I'm kind of like, what's in it for them? What's their dream? What do they want to achieve? And yeah, I
So
just help
that's
people
like
do
your
that.
full-time gig?
That's my full-time gig.
No shit. Okay, at the later on, I'm gonna ask for a plug and we'll get all your information and I'll put
Cool.
everything
Yeah.
in the comments. We'll make it happen. Word,
Yeah.
word. So
But it's all
what's
about being remote.
that's fucking clutch. Yeah. In the life that we live, that's important. So dude, what's a typical day look like for you? Like you wake up and boom.
Oh, this is gonna make people jealous. So
That's
like,
the idea.
you're so mean. I think
No,
our
it's get the fuck up and live your dream. If this makes you
yes, no,
jealous, right?
I'm
You
joking.
know what
I'm
I'm
meant to
saying? Yeah.
inspire. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm there
You
you
can
go.
do it.
Jealous is
Yeah.
inspiration. There we go. We'll say
Yes.
that.
Like I'm not an extraordinary person. I'm an ordinary person that achieved extraordinary things by doing a little bit every day.
Okay. So tell me what your day looks like.
So I wake up at like 5:36 and I wake up to 20-foot windows that look out over the forest with no obstructed view. So I'm just like naked and no one can see me. And I just wake up and look at the sunrise, right? And then I go grab, well, it would have been coffee, but I quit. So now I do chocolate actually. So I make my chocolate and then I grab the dogs and I walk to the beach and I walk along the black sand beach. The dogs are off leash. And then I go sit at a resort. Like I'll walk for 10 minutes and then I
Uh,
go sit under a palapa in one of their cushiony chairs that they leave out. And they're
all
just
right.
like, hey, Alexis, like they know I'm here. They don't mind. And I just sit there and drink the rest of my chocolate and watch the dogs run around and play. And they look for their friends and stuff. And if I feel more ambitious, I'll walk down the road where it's shaded and there's trees and it's real like no one's really around and just like rainforesty stuff where it's by the beach, but it's right on the ocean, but it's forest.
Sure.
And so I'll just walk among the trees. Then I come back and get it hot, drop the dogs off, ditch the dogs, and um, turn a fan on for them. And then I go hop in my golf cart and I go into town and I go have breakfast at one of my places. And usually one or three friends are there.
Okay.
And I'll take my computer with me and kind of like look at some stuff and, do some general emails and things. And it's all by the beach with a breeze. And then I go to like one of my yoga classes or Pilates classes I take. And it's a bunch of like expats and like a gay Colombian,
That's
like gay
awesome.
ballerina dude. And just at any moment, he'll just snatch his leg up into a splits in the midair and do like a triple pirouette and then just be like, all right, now put your leg on the bar. And I'm just like,
Okay.
love it. Yeah, he speaks no English. It's awesome. And then I'll go jump in the ocean, jump in the Caribbean and go cool off because it's hot. And
That's
then
awesome.
yes. And then
That's
I'll kind of
awesome.
float around and I've always got a bathing suit on. I'm ready to go. I stopped wearing underwear, I just wear bathing suits. And then I just ride my golf cart back to work and I go get into my house and AC on or under here where I just have a fan on and I just start seeing clients on Zoom calls and sunset happens and then I watch the sunset sitting here usually just like chilling and
That's a
make
dope
dinner
lot.
and
That's a
then
dope day.
I'll watch some Netflix in bed or on the couch, and chill and then, I'm going to bed around 8:30.
That's a dope day. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
day.
That's a weekday.
That's a good damn day. All right, let me ask you. So far everything's been right, amazing. What's the
Yeah.
hardest thing for you?
I mean, in the beginning, I thought all my friends that were really like, yeah, we'll talk and all that stuff. they meant like I'm free to talk like once every other week. You know what I mean? Or like maybe not this week, maybe another week. So then 3 or 4 weeks. And so like I would have like, my four solid friends that I talk to like four times in a month. And so like that's a lot. That's 4 hours in a month. So that's a lot of time that I was just like very alone, you know? And I just like really, you can make like a high kind of friend, but that's not a friend. And so really trying to like grieve that and manage that. Like it was much harder to move than I thought, as far as like that, it was much harder. And just being like the aware of the mental thing of just wanting to get up and go do something and just be like, oh, but I don't know how to do that here.
Okay.
Like how do I have to pay an electric bill? Like, but how? You know? Or like, do you get mail? Like, where the fuck is mail? Or like, can I return this item? Like, do they have my cheese? Like, or my vegan cheese? Like just like the little things in the beginning wore me out because it
Okay.
was like the entire routine, like, you got to flush a toilet like you're in 1980. You got to hold it down for 3 seconds. You know what I mean? And like, maybe it works, you know? There's been moments in the first few months, like the power goes out and you're like, great, I can't make food. I don't know how long this flashlight's gonna make it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can't shower now. Like
Yeah.
my fan's not working. Like fuck, and I worked all that out. I, like found a nearby resort and now I just go shower at the resort. I make sure I got my bathing suit on and I grab my soap. I go just take a cold shower at the beach, and just like deal. And I've got my chargeable fan now. And, if there's no power to make my food, I just like, grab fruit and chop it up. And I got a headlamp while I'm doing it, and I pivot. I don't feel sorry for myself,
Okay.
you know, but I
That's a good
like
one.
camping. So yeah. And that saying, you either bend or you break. And so I just like, worked it out, you know.
That's awesome. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you
Sometimes there
what
was no
though.
water.
Isn't it the fucking greatest feeling in the world when the power comes back on?
Oh, it's like you
Oh,
just step back into the 21st century and you're like,
bro. Isn't it the
you
best? It goes off.
celebrate.
It goes off. It's off for like 10 minutes. You're like, fuck. And then it comes on. You're like,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah, you don't
ah.
know if it's gonna be 10 minutes or 10 hours. You're just like, oh,
Right?
like
Yeah.
I every once in a while, like the power will go off and I'll just be like, all right, that might be 1 to 3 minutes or whatever. And it usually is. It's pretty short these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
They're getting better and better at it. But every once in a while I hear boom, and I'm like, that's the generator. That's the whole night. I'm like, we're going to bed early,
Yeah. Yeah.
packing the bags, go take the cold shower, like one night I just was like, I had a friend visiting and I was like, we're not fucking doing this. I'm not putting you through this. I can do this. I don't need to flush
Right.
my toilet. It's just me. If
Yeah.
I gotta pee in
Yeah.
the yard, like I'm all right. But I'm not doing this to you. We like went to the local hotel and I was like, I'm checking in. And they
I,
were like,
I
you're checking in?
I can definitely hear that you've been there and you've adapted a lot.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So
Like
it
I
sounds
gotta
like
keep
Costa
like
Rica. Sorry, it sounds like Costa Rica had a large part of your development, right?
yeah, like it really like brought back some skills that I had from camping as a kid and really
Okay.
helped shift my like enhance my appreciation for life and things in life. And I was already trying to be not about possessions and shopping. There's no like Amazon stuff, and
Right, right.
like broke a lot of those habits and just fed into that. So it made me a better person in every way.
So talking about habits and diet and all these things, how's your lifestyle? Like, I mean, as far as food and working out, I know you were telling me you do yoga, you're about to open a yoga thing, but how's the food been? You're a vegan, correct?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
So,
I mean, in Costa, we
rice
all
and
hear of
beans.
Costa Rica, right? Break
Yeah.
that down. Tell us about the food.
So there's a lot of Europeans and Germans or those are Europeans that come here and Canadians that are vegan. And so a lot of the restaurants are like, oh, well, we want your money. So we're going to make sure we
Sure.
got options. And so there's like acai bowls. They love to make those with all the fruit and the smoothie stuff and granola on top. I'll get the rice and beans with hummus and some mixed veggies and have that for breakfast if I want a savory one. And at home, I can just make all the bells and whistles is
Okay.
basically what I do. And people say food is really expensive here. It depends on what you're trying to buy.
Okay.
If you want your European veganese or your, Italian gnocchi or, stuff like you're going to pay top dollar. But if you're like able to make stuff from scratch, you're not going to pay so much, to get those ingredients and stuff.
So, cost of living, tell me about that. Because we're there right now. You're telling me,
Yeah.
some of the food is give me the cost of living.
Okay, so people bitch about the cost mostly of like food. And the
Okay.
thing is that you're not going to the movies, you're not going to theater, you're not going shopping at the mall, you're not going on an Amazon addiction. Like none of that stuff is you're not spending any money of that. You
Okay.
know, everybody here's got like a motorcycle, a golf cart, or an electric golf cart. Like you're not spending money on a car and gasoline and all of that. And so you take out all those things where like the things to do here are hiking around the beach, going to the beach, getting in the water at the beach, or eating at a restaurant or a cafe.
Okay.
That's what there is to do around here. So like if you burn out, just go somewhere else and do something else. You know what I mean? People are like, you burn out? I'm like, I burned out in fucking LA a long time ago, okay? But I had no money to do anything. So, you know, I would say I spend probably like $500 a month on food,
Shit.
if I go extravagant, if I'm like
Okay.
eating at
And you're a
the
vegan.
American, yeah, if I'm eating like the Americanized, like fancy restaurant, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are like, it's so much here. And I'm like, you're not eating at the Tico restaurant, okay?
Okay.
You're not at the local soda. You know what I mean? Like you're
Break.
bitching and you're at the resort beachfront with all the fancy spills and the espresso machines and stuff. And so like if I go there, like I know that that's a $15 meal, and that's a $20 meal. And it's just like, yeah, I can get the $7 meal if I sit at a shack on the corner, you know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
sit on a stool by the road.
All right.
So
So I know what you mean because I've been there. But some people may not. What is a local soda?
it's like a local restaurant, basically. And it's just the rice and beans and the chicken and the fish and just
Okay.
no bells and whistles. It's just like mom pop kind of place.
Okay.
It's not
Gotcha.
a chain.
Okay.
And there's no
Okay.
chains here, not in the Caribbean. There's no Home Depot, there's no there's no Costa Rica Home Depot, there's no like, it's all just like local little places. There's no
That's pretty
stop
dope.
signs, no traffic lights, nothing.
That's
It's
pretty
just,
dope.
it's one road. So that's another thing with dating, like be careful because you will see them forever. It's one road. Even if it were a square, you could like be on the same route and miss each other. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But it's just one road. So you got to go down it, you got to go back it, like, and you can see them all, So no, I
Uh,
live like on $1,000 a month though, by the way. So
okay.
that's
That's not
my
bad at all,
cell
man.
service, that's my Wi-Fi, that's my golf cart, that's my everything. That's
Okay.
everything. Yeah. So
Do
at
you
the end of the
miss
day,
anything? Do you
not
miss anything
really.
from the States? Nothing.
God. I would go to a movie theater, maybe. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I used to love that. Nah, not too much. You know what I
That's
mean?
awesome.
Do
That's
you?
awesome. I have a top three. I miss my mother. I miss my sport bike because I used to race motorcycles, and I miss live music. So I listen to auditorily offensive music. It's not like easy to find anywhere. I grew up like in a hardcore scene. I don't know if you know anything about it. Hardcore metal scene type
I
thing.
totally understand that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not in
So
it, but I got it.
all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So like, that's the local hole in the wall where you go. You catch some fucking local band whiling out. We don't. They have music here. They have live
Yeah, but
music,
that's
and it's
not that at
but
all.
not. Yeah, it's not that for me. So
You're
those
so
are
niche. Oh
yeah,
my
those
God.
are yeah, those are the three things I'm into. So, but I ride motorcycles. My mom comes to visit. I make do, but. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
it's
those are
not
the
the
if
same.
anybody asks, those are the things. My mom, my
Yeah.
bike, and the music. Right.
Nice. Yeah, I can't say. I don't say it.
No,
I
that's
had
even better,
somebody the
dude.
other
Yeah.
day just be like, I just miss fucking sidewalks.
No, fuck
He's
them
like, there's one and then
sidewalks.
there's not one. And then I think he's got a stroller and a baby, you know what I mean? And I'm
Okay,
like,
okay,
I
okay.
think you need to just strap that thing on like a backpack and just go, you know what I mean? Like I think you just
I I
complicated it.
uh I bought the one with real tires, like the Tri one.
Yeah, that's what he has. He has like an off-road level
That's how you
one.
gotta fucking do it, man. Because
But he's
around
bitching
here.
anyway.
Nah, I love that shit. Fuck them sidewalks. I love the
Yeah,
raw.
right?
The raw.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
about
great.
that. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. That's funny. Mhm.
So if you could go back in time and you can tell you something from now to that point when you were getting to make this move, what
Yeah.
lesson would you tell yourself?
Go sooner.
That's awesome. That-
Like, what are you doing? Like you're just fighting so hard to get by, and it's just so much wasted energy. It's just there's so many people that live like people are just like, my own thoughts in my own head, like 401k and savings, and oh God, where am I at? And is that okay? And then the reality is like there's like billions of people with no savings and 401k, and they don't like own land and like have all this like equity and all this savings and whatever. And so like just like they're just living. And how are they getting by? Like they got family, they got support. Their retirement is they go like someone helps them live the rest of their life, right? And so I just was like, I just need the community, and then I don't feel like I have to worry so much, you know?
Awesome.
And I was just so alone in a crowd, you know what I mean, for so long. You know, I'd have friends that just didn't have time for me, and they'd, you know, if I want to come visit, like I'm not invited to stay at their house. Like, you know, I'm like, well, I'm not doing it then because like it's gonna cost me like 3 grand to visit you. You know, and I
uh,
could go to Bali for like a month on 3 grand or more. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to beat Bali for that. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
I'm a little homesick and sentimental, but like not 3 grand sentimental. You know, so
Do they
I'm
come
like,
visit you? Do you get a lot of guests?
dude, I had one.
All
So much
right.
talk and not real action, and it's just like, all right, fine. You
That's
know?
fucking crazy. Isn't that fucking crazy? You live in paradise and you just expect everybody to be knocking your door down, and then you move there and
Yeah,
they're like, bro, where the fuck? Leave your hometown. Get out, you know?
yeah, and like the friend that I met that travels a lot, she was the first one to get here. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And she was just like, "You got this fucking great." She's like, "You
Yeah.
got marble floors and AC and no, no, no." And I'm like, "Yeah, I made this like little ice box. This is my little ice box. This is like little like bit of home. You know what I mean?" And then like down here is like jungle comes in. That's fine. But if I don't feel like it, I'm in my little American feeling ice
Yeah.
box. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So she was blown away. You know, and it's just like, yeah,
It is a
it's
dope
cool.
spot. You live in a dope spot. Very
I
fortunate.
scoped it out, and I did get
Yeah.
lucky because you could think you get it all right and get it all wrong, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like
No, definitely, definitely. So give me your plug. Tell me about how I could get in touch with you, how I can get your services, where should I follow you, if there's any social media or if there's a web. Give me everything. And like I said, at the end, I will get that information from you and I'll put it in the comments section so
cool.
people can catch
Yeah.
this.
No, I'm excited. So like I started a new company called which is the coaching called Global Manifesting. And so I
Okay.
started an online community and it's free. I started just
It's
doing the
free. I can
coaching.
join.
Yeah.
All right,
And
I'm in. Yeah.
I did it because I wanted people to have each other and somebody that could, like myself, that could just drop in and just be like, yeah, check that out. Or, yeah, I would do this and just answer a quick question. And then everybody can kind of like be like, I've been doing this, but this isn't going well. Or I'm doing that and being like, you got this. Cause I felt like I did it all by myself and I was my own cheerleader. And
Okay.
I found different support online and people in different ways. But to like have somebody I could actually physically talk to so much easier.
Okay.
Have other people to like go through that are going through that we're cheering each other on. Like, yeah, we're both getting out of the fucking rat race. Yeah, we're both getting out of the fucking country and just like have that. So that is so on TikTok, I had one video get 700,000 plus like views.
That is awesome.
That's crazy. So that really got a lot of followers and stuff. And so that's at Global Manifesting. And so
Okay.
you just like hashtag the global manifesting, and I'm just that's my
There.
like TikTok. Yeah. And
Okay.
then the community is on a website called School. So it's like SKOOL. So
Okay.
school.com. And then just looking up global manifesting on that. And that's just my free online community. And I'll give
Okay.
you the link. Yeah.
Yeah, please give me all the links and everything so I can
Yeah.
stick it out there and get
Super
people to follow
easy.
you. Yeah, dope,
Yeah.
dope.
I'm just,
All
helping
right,
people's
so
dreams happen.
bro, that's awesome.
I'm
That's
at a
really
party by
cool.
myself, just like I made it. It's like crossing the finish line and being like, yeah, woo. You could drink champagne alone, but it's more fun with friends. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Like you can
right.
hang out in a hanging daybed by
That's
yourself.
dope. Yeah,
Right?
that was dope.
Yeah,
Word.
so
All right, so I
yeah.
got my last question for you.
Ready.
There's somebody at home and they're watching this and they're like fucking jealous. They're like, "Oh my God, this woman's living the life, man. I want to do what she's doing." What's your advice, man? What would you say?
I would say believe in yourself a lot more. We all think like, oh, I don't know how and all that stuff. It's like you're a human being living on Earth. Like you were built to live on this planet. You were built to live and breathe and work and do well. Like you could pay bills, you know how to figure out how to make rent and have a job and just function in the world. that applies to the whole fucking world. Like you can just live in the world. You're okay. You could do it. And it's different, but different doesn't mean impossible. It doesn't mean hard. It's just different, you know? And I think anywhere in the world you can live like a human being, just like every other human being. And, you know, there's this US and certainly for me, LA bubble that it's the best place and it's the best, but it's lacking so much that when you get out of the bubble, you're just like, green and fresh air is worth so much more than Amazon. You know what I mean? Like so much more
Yeah.
than that plush house. You know what I mean? Like setting my dogs off leash to just go run and play and just like not have to rush my morning. Like that's worth the scorpions and the snakes and the shit that happens sometime. Like, you know, I got a shovel for that. I've talked to some local friends and be like, what do you do about that? You know, so like I've got community now and like I don't need to have all the answers. They have the answers, one of them or the other. And they got my back, you know, and if I, you know, fell down and hurt myself tomorrow, like one of those people would be in the hospital sleeping in the chair, just being like, you all right, you know? And I don't know
So
if that would have
dope.
been in the US, you know, they've been like, I got to go to work now. I don't have time. Like I'll take, you know, they'll be on their phone next to me in the hospital. It's like, whatever, you know, addicted to social media, you know? So like people are just present and care. And it's not specific to Costa Rica. I had a wonderful experience in Nicaragua. You know, everyone's coming to Costa Rica. And I'm like, it's just popular. Okay.
Right,
It's just like Austin, Texas. It's like, it's not just there, you know,
right,
it just
right,
represents what you're looking for, you know? So there's talks to me of my boyfriend and I moving to like Brazil and you know, renting out this place. I'm not going to sell it, you know what I mean? And
right.
just like just keep doing this. Like what else is out there? This is fun,
That's
you know?
awesome. Sorry, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask another question. Yeah, this is part of life then. You're not going back to the States, huh? Now that you've done
Oh,
this, you're off, you're
burn it
doing it,
down.
huh?
Not US. I just mean my anything I left there.
Right, 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 right.
Sell it
Burn
off.
the US down. I hear you.
No. Oh, shit, man. That's
Shit,
gonna
yeah,
go
no, we're on the
viral.
list. We're on the list. It's all right, don't worry about it.
We're in matching outfits like we're in a cult. It's all good. Didn't know, didn't you got the memo? Peach and white. All right, peach and white. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Awesome, man. Alexis, man, this was so awesome. I really appreciate your
Yay.
time. You dropped some awesome gems, man. You're an
Good.
inspiration. Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
this. This was awesome.
Yeah, don't be jealous. Just go do it too. You can do it.
Boom. I love that.
You
That's
did it, I
awesome.
did it. We need more people to be happy in their life, living their life, you know?
That's why we do it, right?
Yeah, yeah, everyone deserves this. This isn't privilege. This shouldn't be paradise. This should just be life,
That's awesome. Thank you,
you
man.
know?
Thank you so much for your
You're
time.
welcome, Diego.
Wow, that was amazing, Alexis. Thank you so much. You really gave us some great information there. You're an inspiration. I wish you the best, and I'm sending you nothing but positive vibes. For my guest at home, if there are any questions in the future that you may want me to ask one of my future guests, let me know. And if there are any countries that you want me to check out, where somebody may have moved to that I haven't gotten around to yet, please let me know. Hope to see you in 2 weeks.